Welcome back to our SMU Dynasty. In the last episode, we kicked off our Dynasty by covering the current state of SMU football, as well as setting up our Dynasty for the years to come. So be sure to check that out before we jump into this one. After this, go ahead and check out episode 3, as episodes 1 through 3 are already uploaded. In this one, we will be taking on Nevada in week 0 to kick off our 2024 season. Hopefully we can handle the environment on the road, as we are steep favorites when looking at the overalls. But before we get into that game, I wanted to cover recruiting briefly before we get into some gameplay. I just wanted to showcase who we're scouting and the allocation of points we have. I do also want to cover a few guys more in depth and highlight some more every single week, just to give you all a better idea of who we're targeting. And with that, we're going to start with Graham Lanning, the 4-star hidden gem running back out of Houston, Texas, who is also an elusive back. Lanning comes into his senior season already leading his high school in career rushing yards with well over 3,000 in his time there. While we are not currently on his top schools list, we are looking to make some moves since only USC has offered him early on in this cycle. Looking at his abilities, he has 2 mental abilities in Road Dog and Clear Headed, so he'll be a real force on the road and remain composed. He also starts with Bronze 360 Physical Badge, as that will help him with juke moves right out the gate. Our second player I wanted to highlight was Josh Martinez. A 6'4", 325-pound left tackle will be a great replacement for Logan Parr next season. He is also a hidden gem, and with this deal breaker being proximity to home and him being from Dallas, we should have a good leg up on some other teams. He is also a pass protector tendency and has the bronze play action shield to start. Along with that, he has a gold road dog and silver fan favorite, which will keep him composed most of the time. Getting him would be a great start in backfilling our own line. Next up, we have Alex Beaver, the 5-star scrambling QB out of Oklahoma, who is the number 10 player in the nation. It is extremely easy to see why, as he has led his high school team to back-to-back state championships and has thrown for over 10,000 yards in his high school career and has been a starter since his 8th grade season. He's another guy who has a proximity home deal breaker, so we will need to compete directly with OU for his commitment this season, but hopefully we can pull this one out and he can be our quarterback of the future. Alfonso Judowski is the last player we are highlighting this week, and he is a great talent out of the state of Texas. He is also ranked 174th in the nation, which makes him not the highest value target, but with being a gem player, he may be an incredible benefit to our program. Along with this, he has a single season tackle record of 95 tackles in his junior season and is looking to increase that this season. The reason we are so sold on Alfonso is due to the raw athletic ability he has. Coming in with 93 speed for a linebacker is absolutely insane and makes him a true all-around player. Before we get into the game, let's go ahead and take a look at some of Nevada's top players. The first player we want to highlight is Drew Watts, a linebacker who's rated 84 overall. Nevada looks to have a really good defense this season, and it's really highlighted with some linebackers and a defensive back. Next up, we wanted to take a look at Michael Coates Jr. He's a cornerback who excels at man-to-man coverage, so hopefully we can take advantage of this with our super fast wide receiver, Hudson. He's going to be able to excel in the deep ball hopefully and get past these guys and make some big plays. The third player we are highlighting is another linebacker in Tangiaki Matialona, who is the leader for the defense in the Mike linebacker position. With 2 linebackers at the top of the roster, we will need to succeed in the passing game or have our linemen get into that second level to be able to block those guys so we can get our run game going. The last player we want to highlight is on the offensive side, and he's really only the true offensive threat we're going to face in Sean Dollars. The senior running back has decent speed and is very agile. In combination with that, he has the shifty badge, which will make him extremely lethal in the open field. So containing him in between the defensive ends is crucial for our game plan. Taking a look at the game preview here, you can see we're a slight overall favorite in this one. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. And here we are taking on the Nevada Wolfpack. We'll be taking them on in our very first game on the road, and they will start off the season here, putting the running back in motion. They will hit Dollars out on the right-hand side, but he'll be tackled by Cale Saunders Jr. for a loss of 3. Moving on to the second play, they'll run a halfback draw. He'll bounce off one guy, but get tackled by our left end Roberts. Play number 3 of their very first drive. They'll drop back for a pass, and they're open through the seam. He's going to hit them right there, right in front of our guys, and that'll be a completed pass for a gain of 20-something yards, and they're going to go for a no huddle here to hurry this one up. They're going to run the ball here. They're going to go to the left side, but Dollars will get stopped by his own alignment. He'll get bunched up there and get tackled for only a gain of 1. Down to the 48 now. We'll bring the boys, and we'll get a tackle for a loss of 3, and that'll be a 4th and 12, and they'll have to punt. Looking here, you can see the top players on both teams. Moving on, we'll start our first drive off on our 11-yard line, and we'll hand the ball off there to Knighton, and he'll get a gain of 3. We'll pass it right back to him, and he'll get a gain of a few, and it won't be enough. 3rd and 3 on our own 18. We'll go back to it. We're going to drop back for a handoff out of the shotgun formation, and we'll get stuffed. 4th and 5, punting it away. The Wolfpack will put a guy in motion, but they fake the pass. They'll throw it up the middle, and he was open. He had a chance to catch it, but they overthrew him there. Lewis isn't doing that great. He has had a few completions here. They'll hand it off back to Dollars. He'll gain a few. 3rd and 8 now on the 43. They'll drop back one more time, and Dollars is open on the right-hand side. They're going to throw it to him. So they've gotten to him a lot this game. He has 2 catches for 6 yards so far. We're back here. 1st and 10 once again for the Wolfpack, and they'll catch it out there on the left-hand side. And I believe that was Marshawn Brown, the freshman. And they'll run it up the middle here with Dollars, but they're going to stop for after a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 3 after they move to the 41. They're handing it off again out of the halfback draw, but we are going to stop them with a big tackle, and we're going to get the punt and start our second drive of the game. And we'll start it off with a run to the left-hand side. And the second play will drop back, hit the screen, and that'll be a few-yard gain, but the spin move doesn't lose the defender like we were hoping to. We'll drop back for another pass across the middle, and that'll be caught right at the edge of the line of game by Keyshawn Smith, handing it off once again. And he's going to break a few tackles. Jalen Knighton will get us a 5 yards, a tough 5 yards after he breaks a few tackles. We'll fake the handoff here. We're going back across the middle, and that'll be another catch by Smith. And that'll be an easy 1st down and then some. Another play action pass here by Stone. He's going to throw it deep, and he will get it deflected. That was a good play. Another foot would have probably ended up in a touchdown. Another play action pass will be short to RJ Maryland as we come to the end of the first quarter. And we're looking pretty even there. Only 39 passing yards from the team, only 6 rushing yards. So we'll have to increase that if we want to continue. And Stone drops back to pass across the middle once again, but this time it gets knocked out. So we'll have to settle for a field goal. And that does not look like it's going to be long enough, and it won't be. It'll come up a few yards short as the Wolfpack get it back. And Sean Dollars is going to have a big gain of 12 here up the middle. And he has just been an absolute workhorse for the Wolfpack, just taking carries left and right, catching it out on the flat as they throw it across the middle here. And that'll be another catch by Braham Jr. across the middle. 1st and 10 on the 41 for the Wolfpack. And this is not good for us as Dollars will break a tackle. He looked like he was stopped, but he was not. He was determined to get a few more yards. 8 rushes for 22 yards a day already. And Lewis will get us a jump off sides there. And that was number 15, Cameron Roberts, who got called for the penalty. Unfortunate as they get a freebie 5 yards. But we'll look like that. We'll blitz off the edge, and that'll be Cale Saunders Jr. that gets the first sack of the season. The defensive back will come up and make a big play after we allowed 5 yards from the penalty. And we'll get a tackle there for 3rd and 17. Now a long way to go to that 1st down marker. They'll drop back to pass. They'll hit the tight end out there in the flat, and he will be just short. 4th and inches. They'll go for the field goal, and they'll hit it right through the middle of the uprights. A 3-0 ball game for the Wolfpack. Back here on drive number 3, we have gone scoreless in the first 2 as Knighton will take the run up the middle to gain 8 and get it to 2nd and manageable. We'll fake again. We've run a ton of play action plays, and speaking of Knighton, we'll hit him right back, and he'll get blown up, but he does get the first down. As we move the chains, we'll hand it back off to him. First down again, and he'll get that first down. Just keep moving those chains. He's been an absolute workhorse for us. We'll hand it back off to our backup running back, Johnson Jr., and he'll get 9 himself. We'll put RJ Maryland in motion to the left-hand side. We'll fake the run, and we're going to look down the field, down left side. He's kind of open. Can he get it? He is not athletic enough to make that jump as a defender knocks it down. With only a yard to gain, we'll run it back up the middle with Knighton. And he is excited about getting that first down. An RPO, but it looks like we're handing it off. And Knighton makes a nice juke, but he'll get stopped just short, 2nd and inches, as we drop back once again. And we're going to look up the middle, and it's open down the middle, and that'll be a touchdown pass from Stone to Brinson, the first touchdown of the season for the SMU Mustangs. And that was a great play call as we spread the defense out wide and got the middle wide open as Brinson ran just down the middle of the field untouched. And that'll be his first touchdown of the season. A beautiful pass by Stone as well. And he led him perfectly, led him in stride. And it'll be 6 points for us as we hit the extra point to go up 7-3 with 2.5 minutes left in this first half. As the Wolfpack come back out, and Dollars will shed off a tackle, make a nice juke. He had open field in front of him, but we were able to stop him before he broke into the open, but he did a gain of 15, and they'll throw it across the middle to number 9, Marshawn Brown, and he has been having a game for himself as Lewis will throw it short. And it'll be 2nd and 10, an incomplete pass. One of his first bad throws of the day. Ooh, as Brown was not able to bring it in, as he had a defender right close on him, and the defensive lineman who is playing in coverage was not able to get there, and they'll get the first down, and they'll get another 3 opportunities, and that'll be a perfect pass, but it was not perfect enough, and that'll be a little bit over the head. He was wide open, and he just missed his target. That could have gotten them back in the lead, and we got blessed with a lucky pass from the quarterback, and we're able to keep them off the scoreboard. One more play after that incomplete pass. They're going to go deep, but it'll go out of bounds and be the 2nd incomplete pass to drive. They'll settle for another field goal, and that'll get 6 on the board for the Wolfpack. So we are absolutely praising our stars as we were dead to rights in that play. They had a guy wide open as we'll go across the middle, and unfortunately weren't able to make the catch. So a 2nd and 10 try from our own 20. And we are going to get sacked there. Our lineman just did not block. And he'll run right past 54 and get the big sack, the first sack of the day. But we'll hand it off to Knighton to run the time down, and they'll make the tackle. So we're going to have to punt it away here. But we get a blessing of a play, a mistake by the special teams, and that'll be a roughing the kicker, a roughing the punter per se. And that'll be a new change of downs for the Mustangs as we get another opportunity after we have gone really only 1 for 4 to start this game on scoring drives. And we'll drop back to pass once again, but that'll be an interception. A terrible throw by Preston Stone into double coverage. The deep safety was there, read it perfectly, and that'll be an interception going late into this one. We need to make a stop here so they don't take the lead going into the half, but that'll be another pick by Cale Saunders, and he has open grass in front of him, and he is going to take it all the way. The 2015-10 touchdown Mustangs, a 69-yard pick 6 from Cale Saunders Jr., and that is going to put us up by another 6 points. Oh man, what a turn of events. After we threw our own interception, Cale Saunders was not having it as he'll get his own, playing amazing defense there. He read it perfectly, undercut the pass, and went 69 yards untouched for the touchdown. Look at that. He kind of got beat on that out route, but he was able to cut back and undercut it for a great play, as the Wolfpack will take over after that big momentum swinging play, as Edwards will swing in there and get the sack, and that'll be a great play. And the defense has not Edwards, that's Roberts. The defense has stepped up immensely early on in this one. The pick and then the sack, and now it's 3rd and 7 for the Wolfpack going here late into the second or first half. And that was almost another pick, but he drops it. And that'll be a punt away for the Mustangs, and we'll receive it there. Oh, we kind of had green grass in front of us, so we could have split the defense, but unfortunately we're not able to. We'll drop back for another pass, and Preston Stone's going to have to move outside the pocket, and he's going to use his legs. Not very common for the junior, but he's able to get a few there. Not the first down, but we will have another opportunity, and he's going to look around the field, and deep down the right side, it is open. Who is that? That is going to be dropped. Oh my goodness. And that was Jordan Hudson, the junior, who we think will be a big ball player, big game or big play player. And he had the best opportunity wide open. He won't catch it for a touchdown. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at our defensive comparisons. We have only allowed 131 yards. They've only allowed 123. Our defense stepped up big to get us that second touchdown of the game. We have 2 sacks so far, so we're very good at pressuring the quarterback so far. Our linemen are just able to override their offensive linemen, and it's been a pretty easy game. But man, oh man, what a momentum swing that would have been if Jordan Hudson was able to make that catch. And here, going to show it again, this pick 6. It was an amazing play. As we'll take the fair catch to start off the second half, as Preston Stone will drop back and hit RJ Maryland for his first catch of the season for 6 yards. Second play of the drive from our own 31. We'll hand it off to Knight, and he's going to make a good little sidestep move to get the first down and then some. He has 10 rushes for 53 yards so far today. We'll put him in motion. We'll throw it deep down the field, and that is not a great throw into double coverage, but luckily for Stone, it is not picked off. And we'll have another play, another chance on second down. We're going to hit the... Oh, no, we're not. The second interception of the game, and it's going to be a pick 6. Oh my goodness, by Davis Mallinger. He read that perfectly, and I couldn't see him off screen to make that pass, but he read that like a book. And look at that perfect jump, and he just absolutely mossed him for the pick, and he's going to run it all the way back for a touchdown. And they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here, and they're going to complete the pass, and he'll get tackled into the end zone. So the Wolfpack has tied it up here early on in the second half. And we're going to have to find out what to do from here. But it's going to be deep down the right-hand side, and that'll be a catch by Keyshawn Smith, his second of the day. 60 yards on the day for Smith, and that was an amazing catch. A way to get his toes in bounds. A perfect throw by Preston Stone. A 40-yard pass just over the top. Perfect tight spiral, and just perfectly dropped it in there to the breadbasket. And looking here, we're going to replay that. Look at that, just toe touch right on the sideline, right in front of that referee, and he no doubt for it. As we hand it back off here to Knight, and he'll get a scramble, or he'll get a run for 8 yards. Back here once again, hitting Knight, and again he's going to make a little nice juke move to get down to the 17. And it'll be another 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. A play action pass across the middle. We'll have RJ Maryland, and he'll make the catch, but he'll be stopped just short on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal for the Mustangs, and we're just going to run it in. Knight hasn't been stopped all day on the ground after that very first drive, and he just continues his dominance tonight. And that'll be his first rushing touchdown of the season, and we'll have another good opportunity to take the 7-point lead here with the extra point. And looking here, you can just see our offensive line is just overpowering their defensive line. Good blocking schemes from the boys up front, just moving mass out there and just able to continue that. Just look at the hole made there by our senior leader, Logan Parr, our best player on the team. And he's just moving bodies on the offensive line, creating great holes for our running backs. And they're going to fake the handoff, but they're going to give it to Sean Dollars, and he will get scampered for a gain of 12, it looks like, to get that first down. A big running play from him, and he's been absolutely killing us. So I am not too hopeful about stopping the run this season if we can't even stop a G5 team from running on us. Another run right back to Dollars. He's had 3 in a row, and he'll try to overpower him, and he will be able to get that first down all the way to the 41. Our defense has kind of been stuttered here after a good first half, as they give it to the backup running back, who scampers for 3 yards down to the 44. Another opportunity for the Wolfpack, but our defensive lineman gets through the lineman and he's able to hurry him up, and Kale Saunders is there to wrap it up to get the tackle behind the line. 3rd and 11 from the 40, and there is nobody open downfield, and we're gonna have a big sack on the play. And that was Kobe Wilson, our middle linebacker, or Mike linebacker. He was able to shed off the lineman and make a big play there and force the punt late in the 3rd quarter. We'll have another play action pass, and we're gonna get sacked once again. That is the 2nd sack of the day, and there's just nobody that touched him. The tight end kind of ran into our guard or tackle there, so it's understandable in a sense, but man, we got to get a hand on somebody. We got to protect our quarterback, and that is going to be deep pass down the right side. He has a step on him, and that'll be Jordan Hudson down the right side for a touchdown. Mustangs, another big play from the Mustangs, a 2nd long touchdown pass of the day from Preston Stone. And that'll be Jordan Hudson's 1st touchdown catch of the season. Exactly what we wanted to see out of the junior and what we thought could be possible with that great speed and that deep threat possibility. And that was just a beautiful, beautiful pass by Preston Stone. Man, oh man, that is exactly what we wanted to see. And just look at that. He beat his man, it was a track meet at that point, and just wasn't touched after he caught it. Here's another good view from down the sideline. Perfect pass, perfectly in stride. And that'll be a 28-14 ball game for the SMU Mustangs, as Sean Dollars is not able to get away from Roberts there as he wraps him up and tackles him for a loss. Well, no, it wasn't a loss. It was got back to the line of scrimmage as they'll complete a pass for 5 yards. Lewis to the left-hand side there. They'll drop back for another pass, and they'll complete it there out to the right-hand side. And that is once again Marshawn Brown. He has been a perfect target. The freshman out of Reno, Nevada, has been a consistent target for Lewis. He's been a very, very good outlet for him today. When he's been under pressure, those checkdowns have been there for him. And looking at our running back comparison, 72 yards on 13 attempts from Knighton is going to be very, very good. 5.5 yards per average. But looking on the other side, Sean Dollars is also doing very, very well. A little over 4 yards per average. And they will go back to him, speaking of, and he's going to get a big gain here. 20+ yards. Where is our defense? 15 carries for 80 yards is not going to cut it out when we thought we were going to have a good defense. And they will throw it down, check down to the tight end, but it'll get broken up by Kale Saunders once again. He has been all over the field today and been an absolute force on defense, but they'll hit the tight end once again, and that is the tight end Cameron Ziedler on the reception there. They're going to put Sean Dollars back in motion as we drop back to defend the pass. They're going to throw it deep down the left-hand side, and it's not going to be an interception. Broken up on the play, and they're going to have to go for it on 4th and 4 as they are down 2 scores here late into the game. They're going to throw it across the middle. They're going to convert that to number 12, Nate Burleson, the 2nd across the middle, and that is just piss poor defense from our secondary. And we're going to definitely step up if we want to stop them from scoring here inside the 25. They're going to run it here. No, they're not. They're going to go play action fast. So there we go. Roberts is there to make the sack, his 2nd of the game, I do believe. What a disruptive play. He just threw that lineman off to his left and just did a nice wind move to his right and was able to get the sack for a loss of 9, as they will hand it off to Dollars this time, and he'll get a gain of 6 down to the 25. We need a big stop here from the team so they don't get a first down. And that is going to be another sack there by number 16, the red shirt junior, David Abiria. What a play, and we might have knocked them out of field goal range, but we'll have to wait and see. And we're going to look at the replay here. He has been an absolute menace out there. His 1st sack of the day, but he's been a lot of pressures, and then he just got right past the lineman and blew it up in the backfield. But they're going to go for it, a 4th and long, really long. They're going to throw it down the middle, but we are going to break it up. And on the breakup, that was Deuce Harmon that was able to get that 4th and out possibility. 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard run from Knighton. Speaking of him, we will put him in motion as Preston Stone drops back the pass, and that'll be another sack by Henry Ikahihifo And that is just not good enough, blocking the third sack we have allowed today. And down the right-hand side, Hudson is open again, and that is a perfect pass, and he will catch it and shimmy his way into another touchdown, the second touchdown of the day from the junior. And that was just another amazing connection from Preston Stone to Jordan Hudson. And it looks like the stars are aligning for a great season. I know it's the first game, but man, oh man, just look at this replay. Just look at that 60 yards or so. Man, that was a perfect pass. And look at that, he just beats his defender off the line, and he knew he was open. The defender was toast, and he just perfect. It was a track meet all the way. And that'll be his second receiving touchdown of the day. Probably over 100 yards at this point as well. And the Wolfpack are going to try again, and they're going to get pressured, and he's just going to have to throw it away. Incomplete pass from Lewis. That was a great pressure from our defensive line across the middle, and that will be caught by number 8, Cortez Braham Jr. He's also been a good outlet as well, along with Brown. They have been a nice duo for the quarterback to outlet to, as Dollars is going to make a nice spin move. Oh my goodness, man, he had him on skates. Holy crap. He'll get a nice gain down on the 42. Another first 10 opportunity, as they have an outlet there to the tight end number 34, and that'll be a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 now, as the defensive end is going to get around the edge, but they won't affect the pass, and they're going to hit number 23. Badalado Birdsale down the right hand side, and they're going to get a big chunk play there inside the red zone now. 1st and 10, and they're going to go with an empty formation in the backfield, a no hurry play, and they're going to drop back for another pass. They're going to overthrow number 12 there. It'll be incomplete, but they do get another opportunity here with 3.5 minutes left. We're going to get another good pressure, but they'll hit the man across the middle, and that'll be number 12, Nate Burleson, the second, that just runs in, the freshman out of Newcastle, Washington. And he's also been good. They have 3 decent wide receivers that have been giving our secondary some fits. It's just, if it's not one of them, it's the other. And they will go in for a touchdown as they go here for an onside kick. But our hands team, Cale Saunders Jr. is everywhere. He's on special teams, on defense, getting sacks, getting interceptions. He's all over the field, as Knighton will get the carry and break a tackle to scamper for 7 yards. 2nd and 3 now. He'll go back to him. Another gain, another big gain down to the 22. 1st and 10, hitting our backup running back number 11, LJ Johnson Jr. for another good gain, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, we're going to go back with Knighton in the game. He's going to try to make a juke, but it won't go anywhere. He does get the first down as the Wolfpack call a timeout, down 2 scores. They're going to need as much time as possible, but it might be a little too late. As we scamper for another few yards. 2nd and 8 now, another timeout. Now we are on the 10-yard line. We'll hand it off once again, but bad cut by Knighton. We'll run him right into the lineman, and they'll tackle for a loss of 1. But he gets a good hold there, a good block, and he'll scamper in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the game. And that'll be a great play there from our RB1. He got a great block there from the left side of the line. And that was really what's got us. Oh my goodness, Logan Parr, double time, just 2 pancakes there on the same play, just obliterated number 11 on the defense. He put him on the ground not once, but twice. And that was really what opened up the hole there, as we are here with the Wolfpack, and they will get another little pass as they will go with a false start. No, a delay of game from Nevada, and this is not what you want to be seeing when you're down 3 scores, as they will throw it. As what is number 7 doing? He has been juked out of his shoes, and he can't play defense right now. What is going on? As they will complete the pass down here on 2nd and 10. They drop back to pass, but everything is covered. He has nowhere to go. He'll throw it back, and the wide receiver came back, and he'll break a tackle all the way down to the 22. What was our secondary doing? They just let the man run wide open. Oh my goodness, that's a deep curl route or something, but we'll break the line, and there goes Elijah Roberts for his 3rd sack of the day. And he has just been a disruptive menace all day long. 3 sacks in the opener is absolutely extraordinary. And he's almost got another one, but they'll throw it away, and that'll be 4th and 20. One more opportunity for the Wolfpack and they're gonna look downfield, but nothing there, and he is not gonna scramble as he gets hit from the blind side, and that will be the game as we go into victory formation. And that will do it here in Nevada as the Mustangs take a 21-42 victory, doubling them up and scoring 2 touchdowns apiece or per quarter before the end of the game, except for that first quarter. But look at that, Jordan Hudson, 3 catches, 154 yards for those 2 touchdowns, and that is player of the game material for sure. And man, oh man, we are really excited about the connection between Jordan Hudson and Preston Stone. And someone else that really surprised us was Cale Saunders Jr. having that interception, a sack. He was doing it all. He even picked up the ball on the onside kick. So let's go ahead and take a look at our stats. So looking at the box score here before we get into our player stats, you can see we obviously won 42-21, so we doubled up. We didn't have that many first downs, but we were really good at those big game plays, you know, the explosive plays there. A couple of those resulted in touchdowns from Preston Stone to Jordan Hudson. We thought that we were going to have a lot of big plays with him, and it kind of showed itself in the first game. Total offense, we were just under a little bit under 400 yards. Nevada actually didn't do too terrible at 315. We were able to have 27 rushes for 101 yards. We had a couple sacks. Obviously in college they count sacks as rushes, so you know that could have looked a little better if we didn't, you know, lose probably around 20 yards on those sacks. And looking here, our third down conversion was really good. 5 for 9, 55% was very good compared to Nevada's 4 for 13. So we didn't even need to convert on 4th down, so that was really good as well. Turnovers, they won the turnover battle, unfortunately for us. We did have those 2 picks thrown by Preston Stone. I'll talk about those a little bit in a second. We'll have to improve on that. Total yards, we had 420. So moving on to the player stats, we have Preston Stone, who had a great game. His quarterback rating wasn't terrible at a 183, 270 yards, 278 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Would have loved to see the interception go down a little bit. One of them I will give us a break on. The guy was literally off screen. We couldn't even see him when we threw the pass. So that one is what it is. 73 was our longest pass of the day, which was to our wide receiver Hudson, and he had an extraordinary game, was player of the game in this one. 3 sacks, so we're going to have to work on our blocking. 3 sacks isn't crazy. We had a ton of sacks our defense did. We'll show that in a minute, but 3 sacks, just we're going to work on a little bit of our pass blocking. I thought we were going to be good in pass blocking this year, but it seems like we are struggling even with Nevada, so when we get an ACC play, that could even get worse. Moving on to rushing, we got Jalen Knighton, who is just had an extraordinary game. 20 carries for 108 yards for 5.4 average with 2 touchdowns. He had 33 yards after contact, so that's very good as well. LJ Johnson Jr. also had some carries, 2 to be exact, 13 yards for a 6.5 average, so not too terrible. He didn't get in very often. We actually didn't change our auto subs for the game, so we'll show you that after here in a moment. We forgot to do that with our settings. You can only do it once you get into the season for some reason, so we'll show that case out here in a minute. And then moving on to our player of the game, Jordan Hudson. He had an extraordinary game. Only 3 receptions, but for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a long of 73. He also had 2 drops. There was one that I showcased in the gameplay where he dropped it wide open in the end zone before the first half ended. And that one hurt. That would have put us, we probably would have hit we would have 49 points. Oh man, that one really hurt. He was wide open in the end zone and just drops it. And then we have Keyshawn Smith, who wasn't one of the guys we covered in the beginning of the season. I think RJ Maryland and Jake Bailey. Jake Bailey didn't have anything, so very interesting. Maybe we need to use him in a different role or a different facet, but he wasn't targeted very heavily this game. And again, we only had 11 passes, mostly because Jordan Hudson was just so big gain threat. I mean, he is a deep threat with a decent speed, so that's exactly what we thought he was going to do this season, and he showcased that in game 1. So if he keeps this up around 100 yards per game, he's going to blow out that 1,000-yard receiving. But then RJ Maryland, a guy we did cover, had 2 catches for 22 yards. Not bad. He was a little bit of a bailout guy. He was there when we couldn't find anything else. He was there for us. It's the same thing with Jalen Knighton. Couldn't really find anybody else. He was there, stepped up, only got a couple yards, 11 yards on 3 receptions, but you know, whenever you need to bail out, just make a completion, he was there for us. So that's really good for us. Looking on to the defense, we have a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this real quick. Elijah Roberts, our star player on defense, 88 overall. Guy we did cover in our roster deep dive last episode. 3 sacks from him. We had 6 sacks total as a team, and that is just insane. 6 sacks is going to be really good for us this season if we can continue to do that throughout the year. And then Cale Sanders Jr. had that pick 6 of 73 yards. Just super good defense out of him today. He had 3 tackle for losses, 6 tackles total, and was just he was just all over the field, honestly, in the backfield, playing coverage. He was just doing it all. Kobe Wilson, our middle linebacker, another great player, also another senior. All these guys are seniors, so big shoes to fill next year. He had decent game. He had a sack as well, and then that tackle for a loss comes in that well. And I didn't even see this, but Elijah Roger has 5 tackles for loss, and he is well on his way to work in for end of season awards. So hopefully he can keep that up. And our last sack was David Abiria. I'm not sure that I pronounced that right. If I didn't, excuse me. But he's our left end as junior, so he had a really good day as well. So I'm super excited about this. And then also Isaiah Nwokbia had 8 tackles. And then Jonathan McGill had 9. So really good performance out of our safeties that we covered in the last episode. So I'm super excited. So moving on to the let's take a look at their stats. We had Brendan Lewis, a guy we didn't cover before the pregame. I didn't really think that he stood out. He's a quarterback, only 76 overall, so I didn't really think he stood out. He did throw 38 times for 22 completions, which was 57 completion percentage, which is better than ours, but his quarterback rating wasn't as good. Only 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 6 times, like we mentioned earlier, for 266 yards. So they didn't really kill us through the air. Not a terrible performance through the air, but didn't really kill us. And then Sean Dollars, who rushed for over 100 yards on 17 carries. That's what we need to cut down on. I mean, if they rush 30 times and he gets 100 yards, that is what it is. But that average being a 6.1 isn't going to cut it for us. And then defending the receiving, you can see Marshawn Brown, who was their leading receiver, 6 catches for 106 yards. Not too terrible. Nate Burleson II had that touchdown that we were talking about earlier. So they kind of spread the ball out a little bit more than we did. We'll need to try to copy them and do that throughout the year, because we really were just very limited in our targets and stuff like that. Again, we only completed 11 passes, so you can only have so many go to so many players. Moving here, you can see Henry, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, had 1 sack, and then Jonathan Maldonado had 1, and then there was 1 share between Marcel Walker-Burgess and Dwight Tagiola. I think that's what we're gonna go with. They shared a sack. So again, we're gonna have to work on that blocking. I mean, if this is an ACC game, 3 sacks is kind of not okay, but understandable. But we're playing Nevada, who is a steep underdog in terms of overall on paper, and they were able to still get to our quarterback 3 times. Something we're going to really have to improve on. So looking around here, you can see that we really didn't change the quarterback 1. We did turn up the running back 1 to 90 on the sub in, and then to 82 on the sub out, and then everything else you're going to see we turned up 2. I think they do pretty good well on subbing everybody else out. You don't really want to sub out a lot of people too quickly, too often, but the running back 1, I just feel like they don't get subbed out enough. I mean, you see our backup only had 2 carries. Most of the time you're going to see college teams use more like committee running, so you'll see him split the running. I don't want to necessarily split the running between our guys, but I still want him to have more than 2 carries per game. So looking around here, we do have 10 more points to spend before we go into next week, and I was gonna probably spend them in offensive linemen, but I don't think the level tier 2 and tier 3 boosts are super exceptionally great for us right now, since our offensive line is pretty much okay. What I wanted to upgrade is going to be our linebackers. So we're going to get finesse move and block shedding for tier 1. But then the real boost that we're going to get here, that's a real benefit here, is going to be the pursuit and play recognition. Play recognition is extremely important in college football 25, just because it just really helps your players, especially when you're playing on Heisman, for them to recognize a play and make the move and go towards it. So this should be really beneficial for us. I don't think our linebackers are technically that bad, but this will just make them a hair better when we're trying to diagnose a play and get to the ball carrier. So with that, we're done today. So go ahead and go check out episode 3 that's on the screen right now. And if you wouldn't mind, if you like the video, drop a like down below and a comment, or the subscription if you want to support the channel. I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.